Festival Uncut edition, and I am with a very talented filmmaker, Joelle. Girl, girl. Okay, first of all, everybody, if you don't know who Joelle is, not only did she receive not one finalist recognition, but two for her horror comedy film. Would you like to tell everybody about it?
Hello, everyone, and thank you, Roselyn. Thank you so much for having me. Like she said, my name is Joelle Velez. I am the writer, director, co-director, producer, and actress in Sock It To Me. And Sock It To Me is a comedic psychological horror. It's about a couple, Damien and Evie, who seem perfect. They moved in together. They're so in love
Yes.
until they find an unfamiliar sock in their laundry, and they start a downward spiral. Spooky things happen, and we see if they are willing to die for their love.
I love it because I can tell you right now, I don't normally see new socks, but I'm always missing my socks. Always missing my
Exactly.
socks. The struggle is very real, I will tell you. Um, what was your thought process behind the creation of this for people that want to know?
Yeah, so it came from, like you said, like you're always missing socks. It actually came from when I found a new sock.
Mhm.
And me and my husband had gone to go see the Mario movie. We took some edibles because how else do you see the Mario movie? And we came back. He was doing the laundry because he's an angel. And he finds a sock and he asked me, he's like, "Hey, do you recognize this sock?" And I was like, "What do you mean? A new sock?" Because I had been in an emotionally abusive relationship before that, unfortunately. And so I had it kind of triggered me really quickly to be like, oh my God, he thinks I'm cheating on him. He's gonna think all these things. And my mind and the edibles were like, da, 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 da. But
That's
like
actually
there's
kind of deep, though, when you think about it.
yeah, totally. It was this snowball effect of like all these negative things. And I'm like, oh my gosh, like he thinks I'm cheating on him, but I actually think that we have a stalker. And this sock is coming from someone who's watching us with that's the edible talking, who's like watching us outside. And that's like my paranoia. I'm Puerto Rican too. So like,
Oh, I
that's like the
love
Puerto Rican
it.
mother in me. So anyway, after the next day, we found out it was our friend Sock, the one who gave us the edibles. And we were like, okay, this was silly. But I thought, what if a couple, was like almost killed each other over a sock? Because I think the sock is a
Paranoia.
great, yeah, it's a great symbol for these stupid, silly things that a lot of the time breakups are about. It's about a concert ticket or where we went for dinner, something really stupid. But really, what's going on behind it is a bunch of psychological stuff that people aren't talking about and not communicating. Hey, I was in a bad relationship before. I think that you think that I'm cheating. People don't say that stuff. Instead, they kind of keep it to themselves until something really bad happens.
Man, I feel like you're just in a way dropping so many gems right now for people to think about and processing.
Mm-hmm.
Because yes, it's horror, it's comedy, it's funny, but I love the fact that it seems as though when you create your films, you have a deeper purpose behind it. If you'd like to explain that.
Absolutely. That's like the reason why I got into films. And we were chatting this about this before the interview started. But I used to work in tech. I used to work in finance. I was a venture capitalist. I used to be an investor. And I was
Okay, show me the
subtle brag. Um, but I was always trying to make the world a better place. And I got really burnt out. I was in some not so healthy work environments for me. And I got out of that world, but I still wanted to help make the world a better place. And I said, you know what, there's that quote that's like, insanity is trying to do the same thing with the same approach over and over again. So I was like, well, let me change my approach. Let me try storytelling. I was always an actress ever since I was a kid. And so I was like, that's always been my dream. So let me try to see if I can change the world by kind of changing people's hearts first. And so I do love to implant like little messages in my movie. I love comedy because it's a great way to kind of like lower people's defenses so they're more open to listening and to leave them with stuff like this sock, don't let the sock kill your relationship.
money.
And just try to get into people's hearts that way.
Absolutely incredible. And what you do is so powerful because, as you know, everything that we see, it's going to make people that it's watching this particular film, whenever they see it, it's going to make them think about their own relationships. So, in my opinion, you actually really are helping people.
Thank you. And you know what? The first screening that we had, because I just started the festival circuit and I'm so honored to be part of this festival as well. We just did our premiere in right outside San Francisco at the Brave Maker Fest. And this girl came up to me after and she was like, I identify with the female character so much. I'm in a relationship right now. And, I like feel like it's a hard for me to be honest about my past abusive relationship. And like this hit me so hard on the inside. And it literally brought me to tears because I was like, that's literally me. That's why I made the movie. Cause I really do just want to help people to see, like, it's good to communicate. It's good to go to therapy. It's good to, talk about these emotions so that we can all have healthier relationships. And that's coming from me as someone who's gone through that as well.
Amazing. I have chills right now as I'm speaking to you because that's so beautiful. That's the reason why I know I started my platform, what I'm doing, because
Really?
I want to work with filmmakers like you and other people that want to make the world a little bit better. And it's like, how do
Mm-hmm.
you do so when it's like nobody wants to listen or like learn
Mm-hmm.
anything? And like, wow, anybody
Yeah.
that's watching, making movies with purpose, it really does matter. It really does. Like, I know some people want something crazy elaborate and we put the Hollywood stuff into it with the crazy, the theatrics, but the deeper meanings of it, incredible. And for even with this particular film, have you had conversations with anybody, any distributors, any partners you're looking for? What are you looking for the outcome
Yeah.
of this film?
Absolutely. I would love to distribute my film on any platform. I'm talking actually with some people about getting my first film, Fairy Rice Mother, onto maybe Prime or like some streaming things. So, fingers crossed on those. And I'm just like getting started with the festival circuit right now, just, showing the world my film. So I'm working on marketing, I'm working on making connections. So anyone who is looking for films made by a Latina director, writer, actress, that are about mental health, about relationships and mental health, and also comedy, horror. We got a lot of buckets. We got a lot of boxes that we can tick off.
I
So get
love
in
it.
contact with me. I would love for the world to see this film.
Man, yes. And you, I can already tell, are an amazing person to work with. And if I can ask you, just for anybody that loves you right now, that's watching you, how would you describe your working style?
Oh, thank you so much for that question and for the compliment. Yeah, well, so like I said, I came from this world of tech and I know that you did too, which, I love to talk about that. And I learned a lot about leadership styles that weren't the best.
As soon
So,
as you said leadership styles, I was like, oh, yes, girl. Oh,
yeah.
keep talking. I'm listening. We're all
So,
listening.
I mean, but what I learned was to be an entrepreneur. I learned to run things myself, to own my own things so that I can be in charge because I'm a very compassionate, very kind person and I love the people that I work with. I just like you wrote in this article, I just produced a movie for my friend or a web series for my friend and our crew was so incredible. We had the best time on set. So for me, my leadership style is one, to be organized, to be clear, good communicating. But two, once we get onto set, to have fun because I went through this whole career where I wasn't having fun. And now I'm here and I want to be having fun. This is my dream. I'm going to live it and I'm going to enjoy it. So, one of my set rules is we got to have fun. And then the other set rule that I have is to respect everyone because I think that people come in with a feeling of like a hierarchy, which is understandable. You need people to be clear who's the decision maker, what's the decision being made. Yes, we love that. And that doesn't mean that anyone deserves more respect than anyone else. Like I've been on sets where people are like, "You're the PA, you eat last." I'm like, um, okay, that's crazy. Like I would never tell someone if you're hungry, don't eat yet. And so same thing for on set. Like we're all learning. No one knows everything. Honestly, a lot of people are full of it and I try to seek out people who aren't full of it but at the same time like to be very humble. We can all learn new things, we can all grow together, and there's no reason that we need to come in with these feelings of like superiority or inferiority, that we can all be a team and create a beautiful collaborative piece and have it feel like summer camp and then hopefully go make some money with it.
And are you trying to make this a viral reel? Because you're over here again dropping gems. I'm like, help me. Like, I'm about to crop this section. Anybody that's watching, y'all about to hear this a lot. I'm about to post this. Man, goodness gracious. Oh my gosh. I know what I wanted to ask you. This just because you said something too, and I know we want to talk about the film, but I also want to just, in a way, if we can please just talk about you as a leader, where Because I know in this particular space, anyone that's watching, there's a couple of things. You transition from the corporate world, like myself, into navigating into this film space. And there are a lot of people right now within the corporate world, they don't know how, they're not happy. They get maybe paid, but they're not necessarily happy. Is there any advice that you can maybe share on maybe how to transition from the corporate world to the space you're in?
Absolutely. This is an amazing question. That has been really my life journey for the last 2 years. So I was working in, you too. Like I said, I was working in finance, venture capital startups, and then I got laid off, which was really kind of a blessing in disguise from the universe because I would not have quit. Let's be real. Like financial security is awesome. And walking away from a paycheck is really hard. So that was, but that was the universe at the same time. I started film school. I was at exactly the push I needed. I was at the Second City Film School here in Chicago and I was loving it. And I was like finally coming into who I used to be as an artist when I was a kid, like the actor that I was as a kid, and recognizing myself, oh my gosh, this is the happiest I've been in 5 years. That's crazy. And so now, yeah, I'm a bartender. Like I get my paychecks where I can and I don't have money. I'm broke. But I'm happier than I've ever been. And so I think, and at the same time, I've been reading a lot. Like The Artist's Way is a great book. I highly recommend that to anybody, because part of what she talks about is like synchronicity and like the universe, serendipity, bringing you when you go full force of what you want to do and what your dream is. The universe meets you, and I'm sure people are like, "Oh, that's a woo woo, whatever." But I have had that happen so many times in the last 2 years. I've been having an idea, thinking, man, I really need somebody. I'm on the train or something, or I'm in a class and someone's like, oh, I do exactly what you need. And I'm awesome. I'm like, there it is. The universe provides.
You're
So I
very wealthy
really
to me. You're very wealthy to me. I want you to say
thank you.
this. I'm going to say this on camera for you and anybody else that's watching. For myself, we never say those words that we're broke. We are wealthy.
We are wealthy.
Like
That's right.
everything that you said after the part where you said that abomination of a word, I heard nothing but wealth.
Absolutely.
That's what I heard. And I'm
You're so right.
smiling because I'm just looking like, dang, girl, like you're making this transition. And then now it's like you're seeing yourself, you're learning as a leader, growing. And then I guess one of the last questions I wanted to ask, because I think you're killing it. Um, as a woman and as a leader in this particular space, how would you say it's been for you?
That's such a good question too. Your questions are amazing. It's been fabulous and I love everything that I've done because like I said, I have been in charge of what I have been doing. And I also had an amazing teacher at the Second City Film School, Christina Shaver, shout out to her, who taught us intentional producing because I'm a producer as well. Uh, Going for projects that you are aligned with, that you're going to enjoy because filmmaking is hard. Let's not get it twisted. Stuff is very hard. And so you better be doing something that you like, back to my previous point. And so I have found that, and she also said that about film festivals, about going intentionally with film festivals towards your interest, the comedy, the horror, women's film festivals have been amazing. And so I have found so many incredible female filmmakers, femme filmmakers, like all across the spectrum of incredible people that have been so supportive. And then when you see each other's visions, it's like, I see you, like real
I
recognizes
see you.
real. Right,
Like I'm leaning and
exactly.
talking to you now, like I see you, girl. But keep going.
Yeah, for real. And I've never had like this level of mentorship and community and support in my life. Because when I was back in tech and finance, it was a bunch of white guys and me, and I was like, oh, I'm
Yes.
dying.
What vision is you?
Right. And so now I'm just surrounded by these amazing like Latina, like women of color, all these like incredible filmmakers that I get to be collaborating with. Like I'm writing a web series right now with my really good friend who I met at my very first film festival, Cecilia Romo. She's incredible too. And I just am like happier than I ever could have been. So it's just amazing. It really is that like women supporting women, but like us bringing each other up, bringing each other together, seeing each other's brilliance, getting the affirmation from each other and uplifting has been like such a joy in my life, and I'm so pleased.
Yeah. You also need to, outside of directing, the acting you said, you need to be on camera more. Just saying.
Thank you. Yes, that is my joy too, and that's my
Energy
number one
is
goal. So if you want to hire me as
vibrating.
an actor,
Just saying, the energy is vibrating very high. The joy,
thank
I see it
you.
within you, and I think it's beautiful. I love
Well,
it.
you are bringing that out in me, so thank you very much.
Man, I think, wait, are you coming? You coming to Austin, right?
I'm
Are you?
trying. I am trying.
Well, just so you know, I will say this too. So for anybody that wants to, like in your article, if you look,
Mhm.
um, there's like a discount thing you have access to, by the way.
Right, right.
Like the system, it's like 30% off, less than Priceline, Orbitz, all that stuff. So when I booked a flight to Colorado, it was like
Mhm.
$300 off. Just FYI.
Wow. That's
So
amazing.
if you're doing a film festival run, anybody doing a film festival run, hotels, if that
Mhm.
hotel probably says 150 a night, you're gonna get it for like 90, the same hotel.
Mm,
Just
that's
FYI.
incredible. Yes.
Yeah. I wanted to tell you, but I would love
Thank
to meet
you.
you in person. And
I
regardless,
know, that would be so fun.
I really want to meet you in person. There's going to be amazing people that are there at the festival. And then I'm not even concerned about you at all because your energy is just amazing. You're not a shy person. And I will say sometimes people may not get the best experience at festivals if they just stay to themselves.
Mm,
And I've noticed that whenever I just linger and I just people watch, and the
yeah.
people that always are proactive, like you, and it's like, hey, how are you doing? Like it's almost like immediately or short
Yeah.
after, it's like, oh, they're doing projects and stuff together.
Mm, mhm. Yeah, totally.
They're doing, and they're opening up their mouths, and then other people that have come in from New York or from LA or other places that have worked on amazing, amazing
Mhm.
movies, they show up to the festival as well. And so that's the time where it's like, yeah, you're gonna meet. I believe that you're gonna meet everybody that you're searching for. You're gonna
Heck
see.
yeah.
Um, and is there any questions that you want to ask me while we're on camera, or anything you want to say? I don't want
Oh
to
my
forget
gosh.
anything.
Yeah, I mean, tell me a little bit about yourself, about your journey. I'm so curious because you said you started at Apple with the iPhone and now you're over here.
Man, I started at Apple when we had the very first iPhone. And
That's
that
amazing.
I feel like an old person when I have kids one day and they hear that, they're gonna be like, wait, mom, you're ancient. But yeah, the very first iPhone before we had even really the app store. It's like we didn't know we were gonna have all these apps. And so a lot of the learning from that, and then even transitioning with other companies, AI took over. And so departments closed. And so as
Wow.
an entrepreneur, my brother, he kind of encouraged me to start a podcast. And I was like, oh no, the people are mean on the internet. Everything you do is wrong, everything you say is wrong, everything is wrong. And I'm like, you know what? Let me just talk to my friends. I feel really comfortable talking to my friends. The very first episode last year when we posted it, that was my very first YouTube episode. And
Very
because
cool.
that was interesting, and I will just say, I'm gonna make this short for you. I wanted to interview him because at the time he was a quadriplegic because of vaccines.
Wow. Oh my gosh.
But like he ended up going from a quadriplegic, and you look at that first episode, you will like literally see the video footage and everything of him walking, taking his first steps, even in the hospital room. He now looks like the Hulk. And I'm like, how did you go from like bones and he was even born dead to like going like this? So to me, that was amazing for an inspirational
That's
story.
crazy. Yeah.
And then I'm gonna get to the movie stuff in a second. And then the next guest I had was a buddy from the NFL, Tony Hills, who wanted to teach people about financial literacy.
Mhm.
And then the movie part came when my friend Courtney Glade called me and he asked me for a favor. And of course, I'm gonna help my friend. He wanted me to interview for the red carpet for his BET movie. And
Wow.
me to interview the actors, and I was like, oh my gosh, I've never done this before, but okay, here we go. And then he called me back like 30 seconds later, and he's like, can everybody come to your house? And next thing you know, all of my buddies from the past and years ago started calling me from like all over the woodworks, and they're in the film business. And I'm like, where did all these people come from? Because in my family, you're supposed to be a doctor, lawyer,
Right.
or disgrace. You know how Africans are.
Right. Yep.
And yeah, next thing you know, that's where all the film stuff started coming. And if you
Wow.
look up everything, probably you'll see my IMDb because I'm
Yeah.
now working with Opulence Pictures and I'm being trained of the head of the investment division. And all of the movies that we have are A-list movies with pre-sales.
That's
So it's on
amazing.
pre-sales and it's really awesome. And so my goal is to obviously, we want to these movies are going to be made. We have all the paperwork and everything for it. But being the director of this festival, I'm so excited because I get to meet awesome people like you. And it's like,
Yes.
okay, is there a pathway where we can help these amazing filmmakers, elevate a little bit more? And so as I'm in this space and as I'm meeting all these amazing people, more great things are happening. And I just want to make sure that people are getting the right help that they need.
You're incredible. I love that. Thank you so much for sharing your story. And I just think that's so cool, like the path that you took, but also people seeking you out because as much as you said that I shine bright and have this frequency, you have the same thing going on and you're bringing it out in me. So like that's incredible. And I only see success for you.
Thank you. And I will say we are going to stay in contact. We're going to stay in touch.
Absolutely.
I'm going to say, I will actually, let's say bye to everybody together. Thank you for watching the show, and y'all better come to this festival too, y'all. I don't
Thank
know.
you. Yeah, come on through. Come see Talking to Me.
Oh man.